We'll never see him again, will we, Doctor?
Oh, my dear. Don't talk too soon. The mind is indestructible. So is the Toymaker.
What, you mean he can never be destroyed?
But you defeated him!
Yes, just at this moment, but there will be other meetings. In another time.
Happy Sunday everyone, it's that time again. Hasn't the week flown by since my last video, which was incidentally when the trailer for the 60th anniversary came out. But hello, welcome. If you do not know who I am, then my name is Shah and I am at Geek Rambles. I have just come back to Doctor Who. If you've not seen Doctor Who videos anyway, I've never left Doctor Who. So I'm back with some brand new content for you. And I was having a little bit of a think about what I was going to do since my last video. Had an idea and thought this would be a really good one. So, since the BBC or the Doctor Who team decided to announce everything that we knew anyway in terms of who Neil Patrick Harris was going to be playing, and then of course he has been confirmed as playing the Toymaker. Now, I've never been any different when it comes to classic era Who. I've always said that I'm not as well versed in classic Who as I am new. So the Toymaker meant nothing to me, probably up to about 6 to 9 months ago. So I've really been thinking about what would help anyone else who doesn't know who the Toymaker is. Maybe you are a casual fan and you don't really know that much about the Toymaker, or you have been involved in classic but you've just not seen them yet, or maybe you are completely into classic Who, you know exactly who the Toymaker is, and you're here to make sure that I've got my facts right. So I thought what I would do is give a little bit of a crash course, so to speak, or for want of a better phrase, and really sort of a beginner's guide is what I'll call it, a beginner's guide to the Toymaker. So the Toymaker actually hasn't been on our screens for 57 years, if you can believe that, and not only that, but there's only one episode from the story that the Toymaker's involved in that's actually survived all these years too. So you'll be forgiven, or at least I hope I'm going to be forgiven anyway for not knowing that much about the Toymaker. But this is what this video is all about. So, as always, go grab yourself a cup of tea or coffee or whatever your drink of choice. Come back here and we will go through the ins and outs, a brief ins and outs of the Toymaker, all bright and ready for the 60th. It's going to be a good one. I'm looking forward to it. Really quickly though, before any of that, if you would not mind clicking that lovely little subscribe button, I always pop it down here somewhere, to help me. Since my last video, I actually got to meet like 100 more of you. In fact, I think at the time of recording, it's exactly 100. I was on 667, now I'm on 767. Wow, thank you so much. I've been absolutely over the moon with how you guys have welcomed me back. I was truly grateful as well. I think after a year or well over a year of not doing something, you come back and people are still out there wanting to sort of see you for whatever reason, and it's just lovely to speak with you, have your opinions, have your comments, likes, subscribe, as I say. It's been great. It's been really nice. So yeah, thank you for that one. Also, I've noticed that a wide majority of you who do watch me don't subscribe, so if you could help me with that. The aim is to get to 1,000 by the start of 2024. You are a massive part of that. So if you could click that subscribe button, it would be great. It's free. It's completely free of charge, of course, so I don't think we can say fairer than that. Help me to help you. That would be wonderful. I'd love that. So Celestial Toymaker appeared on our screens for the first time on the 23rd of April 1966, if you can believe that. Can't believe how long this Doctor Who thing's been going. It's not half bad, is it? Yeah. Played by the wonderful Michael Gough alongside William Hartnell's Doctor. Now, this is where the crash course comes in, for me actually, as well as you guys, because I've been doing a lot of reading and I've been watching. Well, I watched the only remaining surviving episode, and it was really good. Even though you don't get the whole context, you 100%, I promise you, understand what's going on with this geezer. And pardon the pun, the lad don't play around. So the whole sort of motive for the Toymaker is to have games for people, whether the Doctor or companions, it's the companions in this one, to play, but the games are always rigged in the Toymaker's favour. So getting out of it is a pretty hard task. In fact, the way that the first Doctor actually defeated the Toymaker... Oh, bit of hair in my eye there. Sorry about that. Good job I can edit this out. No, I'll keep it in, why not? So the way that the first Doctor actually defeated the Toymaker was to imitate the Toymaker's voice in that. And I believe that when it comes to the Toymaker, there's very, very little room in terms of how you can defeat this guy. So, you know, he's immortal. He's indestructible. He has a way of being able to get into your mind. It's a little bit of a... If I had any comparison to make, I would say it would be sort of with like the Dream Lord, or maybe even little aspects of the Master in there. There's a little bit of hypnotism. There's a little bit of mind games going on with that. Games again, see it? It all ties in beautifully, doesn't it? So the Toymaker is a sort of eternal, immortal being and has his own realm. Hence why I'm kind of thinking this is going to be the perfect sort of character for what's going to be happening in the 60th. Of course, we don't know all the details, and I don't want to know all the details, but from what the Who community's been saying, and from the way that there's no way on God's green earth Donna is going to be able to remember the Doctor without dying, the Toymaker's kind of the only one who could create a paradox with that. I'll explain why. So from the trailer, we already saw the character being played by natural Patrick Harris, Neil Patrick Harris, in different forms, in different costumes, and totally doing different things. I mean, that shot of him with the marionettes, someone pointed that out for me last time in my last video, thank you for that, with marionettes, and then there's a big ass gun that's just sitting on top of Unit. God knows what's going on with that. But that's kind of how things work in his dimension, his realm. His whole being is about creating these situations and these scenarios that take you out of reality-ish. So the Toymaker is able to absolutely conduct these insane scenarios where he can create fake TARDISes, he can create fake worlds, he can create whole playgrounds, for want of a better word, of what he can do in terms of antagonising his victims or players. This guy's got something about him that I just really like, and I think that shows in how people were so convinced, and not only convinced, but once they were convinced he was a Toymaker before it was announced, people already started doing their reading and found that he's a pretty dangerous character, this guy. The whole marketing for the characters, you know, like Jinx Monsoon is the Doctor's greatest enemy, or I don't know, Doom from Doomsday, which is finished, but I don't think any of us realised it. Anyway, I'm not here to be negative, God's sake. Or how Doom was meant to be the deadliest assassin. This guy, there's no hyperbole with him. He means business, and I'm so excited. But what he'll also do, which is why he is so dangerous, is he rigs these games in his favour. I think I said that at the start of this video. But he will make sure that they're rigged so that you can't win. So I'm kind of interested in how the Doctor's going to deal with that. I personally think that the Doctor regenerating is going to be the way out of that. But I don't think it's going to be turning into shooting. But we are getting onto a completely different video, which is coming up in a couple of weeks' time. Let's put that to bed for a second. But the kind of parallels that really spoke to me was that in the last one that I watched, which, like I said, is the only one that survives at this time. Hopefully we can find some other ones. That would be really nice. But the ones that have survived from this time is where the Doctor and his companions are forced to play these games, and they're pretty childish. You know, they're ones that a kid would play. I mean, we're almost entering the realm of Squid Game at this point. You know, they are really childish. They're ones you would play as a kid, but they're deadly. And the only way that you can win at these games is to have your own sort of trickster mentality as well. But the way that this was done in, I believe it was called, oh my God, The Final Test, I think was the last episode of that story, correct me if I'm wrong, was that they had to play these games in order to be reunited with the Doctor. There was quite a big part of it where the Doctor, you could only hear Hartnell's voice. He wasn't actually kind of around. at that time. And that's something else that's sort of playing on my mind as well. So the Toymaker makes it so that companions or whoever is linked to the Doctor, or maybe it isn't even the Doctor, you know, maybe it is just people that want to be reunited or brought back into reality. I think that's probably the best way. It was a long-winded way of saying it, but we got there in the end. Okay, and it's a way for them to be reunited with reality, but they have to go through a whole heap of stuff. Now the Toymaker kind of makes it so that when you play these games, you can play them yourself, you can play them as a team, or you can play them with one of the Toymaker's, how do I say this, associates? The Toymaker's own companion? I have no idea, if I'm being perfectly honest. Just don't quote me on any of that, but associates I'm going to go with. Or maybe they're actually called clowns. Whatever, it doesn't matter. So he'll have them play with one of his workers, clowns, playthings, whatever you want to call them. So much so that they are absolute geniuses when it comes to making sure that they aren't cheating, they're a stickler for the rules, or right jobs where they're the kind of person that we're not 100% great on, you know, when we're losing the game and we try and do a little something to make sure that we win, and then they turn around and go, oh yeah, actually, you know, these are the rules. They're that kind of people. But they're even really, like when I say childish, I don't mean, you know, like hopscotch. I mean things like Blind Man's Bluff. They'll play things like that, and they'll have it so that the clowns have it where they will catch you out. They will do things to make sure you either cheat, or to make sure you may have played the game and played it perfectly, but they'll find something. And that's where it becomes dangerous. So just going from the last episode that I did watch and the little bit of reading that I've been doing, what happened in the last one, spoiler alert if you've not watched it, but if you haven't, go and watch it. And then come back here. I don't want you to leave me to go watch that just yet. Pause it and then come back. So the way that it was won is that once he'd played his move and he knew that was how he was going to win, that the whole domain of the Toymaker vanishes, along with any sort of fake iterations of the TARDIS, or any companion that he may have conjured up. He's very, very good at that too. It all disappears, and the TARDIS is back with the Doctor. The companions are all reunited, and I think I'll put it at the start of this video. You see the clip of how they're like, okay, so we've defeated him, he's gone. Not quite. The guy's immortal. RTD, I don't know how you're going to do this. I've got every faith in you. Neil Patrick Harris already looks so scary, so sinister, you know. He's definitely got that look about him where you do not want to mess around. You do not want to go down that road with him, you know. So I'm really excited, but as always, it is not just about me. It's also about you. So what are your thoughts on the Toymaker? Have you had any sort of thoughts of whom, you know, of what games he might play, how he's going to bring Donna into it, how he's going to bring the Doctor into it? Is he actually fitting into the timeline with the other Doctors? Does he come out of his own timeline if there is another realm that the Toymaker's provided for everyone? Or even more interesting, is Ncuti actually going to be after Tennant's 14th Doctor? I'm only going off that because of this pic that we saw, or this, and the end of the trailer anyway, that we saw, where he is wearing something that is it? No, it's definitely not Jodie's costume. It's definitely not the Master's costume. Shut up. I might have to go back and rewatch, but I'm still going to get this video out. Oh my god. Maybe I'm onto something here. Anyway, and it is not Tennant's 14th costume either. I'm still thinking about the whole thing. That looks like a Master jacket. I could believe that Ncuti's wearing the Master's jacket. I can't wait to have egg on my face when I realise that is not the case at all, and I've just dreamt up that whole thing. Oh my god. Thank God this isn't live, because this is a nightmare that we go on. Speaking of live, I am also a regular member of the Type 40 podcast. Type 40 podcast. I'll put my teeth back in. And that is where we will talk about all manner of things Doctor Who, whether it be classic, new, or past, well, basically past, present, and future is what we talk about on there. It's a good old laugh. There's some great guests that come on there as well. We have people with different opinions, you know, different outlooks on Doctor Who. No opinions wrong. And even if you disagree with them, which I actually do a lot, some of the time anyway, it's getting less and less though, seeing as we're all getting really excited for this new era. Your opinion is just as valid as anyone else's. So pop on down there. I'm going to pop a link down here somewhere for you to go and check that out. But until next time, keep yourselves well, keep yourselves super duper safe, and I will see you very, very soon.